Long ago, in a land where the sun kissed the earth with warmth and the rivers sang like flutes, there was a kingdom called Ndemora. It was a breathtaking land filled of yams stretched like green carpets. Palm trees danced in the wind, and the scent of fresh pepper soup filled the markets every evening. The people were hardworking, joyful, and proud of their heritage. Ndemora was blessed. Her barns were full, her rivers glittered like gold, and her warriors were feared by all neighboring lands. Songs of victory often echoed from her hills, and even the birds seemed to chip in rhythm with her glory. But amid all that beauty and plenty, pride grew like a weed among flowers. The people of Ndemora believed they were untouchable, that no storm could shake their walls and no enemy could conquer their land. Their king, King Obidike, was a man of great strength and presence. His voice could silence a crowd. His gaze alone could even make the bravest man tremble. He was loved but also feared. For when King Obidike spoke, no one dared to question him. His word was law, and though his kingdom was rich in gold, it was poor in humility. In one quiet corner of this mighty kingdom lived a widow named Ijoma. Her hut stood beside a small stream where children often came to fetch water but mocked her as they passed. Her clothes were patched, her hair grey and her hands wrinkled from years of labor. Yet behind those weary eyes was a treasure the kingdom did not see: wisdom. Ijoma's late husband, Obieze, had once been one of the Ndemora's most respected warriors. He fought bravely in the Great War of Okonta and was known for his calm judgment even in the heat of battle. He used to tell her, "My wife, swords win battles, but wisdom wins wars." When Obieze died, Ijoma carried his words like sacred fire in her heart. She watched people, studied seasons, listened to the winds, and learned how the world spoke in whisper most men never heard. That was how her wisdom deepened, not from books, but from life, loss, and listening. One morning, as the cock crowed and smoke rose from kitchen fire, a messenger galloped into the palace courtyard, his horse dripping with sweat. He fell to his knees before King Obidike and cried, "My king, the warriors of Okota march towards us. Their spears are many, their shields strong. They will be at our gates in 3 days." The palace erupted in panic. The chiefs shouted orders, the generals beat their chests, and the king roared, "Let them come! Ndemora has never fallen, and it never will." The drums of war sounded, echoing through the hills, but while the young men sharpened their blades, an old truth stirred in Ijoma's heart. She had seen strange men drinking by the river at night. She had noticed footprints that didn't belong to her people. That evening, she tied her wrapper, picked up her walking stick, and made her way to the palace. When she reached the gates, the guards burst into laughter. "Old mother, what are you doing here?" One sneered. "I come with words that can save Ndemora," she said firmly. They laughed louder. "Save Ndemora? You can barely save yourself from old age." But as fate would have it, the queen, a gentlewoman named Queen Mako, heard the noise and came out. Seeing Ijoma's determined eyes, she said, "Let her in. Sometimes wisdom wears rag." Inside the grand hall, Ijoma bowed low before the king. "My king," she began softly, "strength alone will not win this battle. The enemy knows your pride. They will not strike where you are strong. They will strike where you are blind." The chiefs scoffed. One of them whispered, "She's just a widow. What does she know of war?" But the queen touched the king's arm. "Listen to her," she said. "Even small lamps can light the way in darkness." Ijoma then spoke of what she had seen. "Men of Okuta will not attack your front gates. They will cross the river by night where your guards are few. They will surround you from behind while you sleep." King Obidike frowned. "And how do you know this?" She lifted her head. "Because I watch what others ignore. I have seen their spies with my own eyes. The king hesitated but decided to test her warning. That night he sent his best warrior to hide near the river banks, just as Ijoma said. The moon rose high, silent and pale. The river glimmered like silver glass in the distance. Shadows moved. The warriors of Okuta, confident and quiet, crept towards the water. Just as the first man stepped into the river, a loud horn blew across the land. From the bushes and trees, Ndemora's hidden soldiers leaped out like spirits of vengeance. Swords clashed, arrows whistled, and shouts filled the night air. The Okuta army caught between the river and Ndemora's warriors fell into chaos. By dawn, the great battle was over. The invaders were crushed. The river that was once glittered gold now ran red with defeat. When morning broke, King Obidike stood upon the hill overlooking the battlefield. His proud chest rose and fell. Then slowly he turned to Ijoma, who stood quietly behind the queen. Before the gathered crowd, the mighty king bowed his head. Today, he said, Ndemora stands because of you. We mocked you, but your wisdom has saved us. Forgive our pride from this day forward. Your counsel shall guide this throne. Tears glistened in Ijoma's eyes. The people who once laughed at her now knelt before her. From that day, Ijoma became known as the mother of wisdom. Her heart was no longer lonely. It became a place of learning where young and old came to seek counsel. The king visited often, humbler now, wiser than before. Under Ijoma guidance, Ndemora prospered once more, not in arrogance but in humility, unity, and respect for wisdom. And so, my friends, remember this: do not despise the quiet voice, the old hand, or the humble heart, for sometimes it is the smallest candle that brings light to the darkest night. The old woman saved a kingdom, not with a sword or a shield, but with the timeless power of wisdom. Thank you for listening to this story. Subscribe, like, and share.